Hello and welcome back to Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. So, we are still exploring west of Dresden and we are on the trail of Woljif. Woljif is our companion who's been missing and we ran into a random encounter here that was related to his quest. So, in theory, at some point around this direction we might find him. However, we did not find him at the Shrine of Sacrilege, so it is probably time to leave. Let me just check. Are we fatigued? No. When do our buffs run out? In about 6 hours. So in about 6 hours we want to find somewhere to rest and get some buffs up. Now, Green Gates over here is related to one of our other quests, and Areelu is the one who told us to go there. So we could make that our next location. So it's definitely worth thinking about. Before we go there, however, let's have a look at our armies and just see what we can do. Now, Ali Battalion is still not actually strong enough to go out right now. Neither is Big DPS. They're both just a little bit weak. So we need to think about that. I was considering with Big DPS, I was like, maybe if we move the Hell Knights over instead of like the Rangers, maybe we would make them a little bit stronger. But I think the problem is the General is incredibly weak, so we're going to miss out on a bunch of his abilities. So we're going to need to think about what to do with that. Maybe what we do is we take this army out. Once we get a replacement for the Rangers, we take them out and we move them like up to fight some of the level 4 armies and just try and level the General up a little bit. That might be an option. Anyway, it's something to think about. Anyway, because we have nobody that we can recruit apart from Hell Knights, and even then we can only just afford the next lot of Hell Knights, and I don't think they're going to be that huge an increase, I think it's back to this army and it's time to move. So, up. Oh wait, apparently we can go down? What did we stop on? Oh, I think it's saying we can go down from the Shrine of Sacrilege? No. Okay, I don't know what it caught us on there. It was almost like we could go... It was like another location here. That's kind of weird. But we can't go east or west, so I think we have to keep going north, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, from here, we could go up and left. Or we can just go left towards Green Gates. Let's go up for just now, just to explore some more of the map. We spotted some enemies. Well, I'll just evade them. Continue our way around here. Temple of the Good Hunt. Okay. Let's go towards there. Ignore the enemies that we could fight. And keep traveling. So that takes us this way. Where does this take us? Oh, wait. Oh, I see. I failed to sneak past. But it looks like actually there's another path up onto the ridge.
Let's have some
Interesting.
fun.
What are we fighting? An Ash Giant Wrecker. 3 Ash Giant Wreckers. Okay, so there are some around us here. We also wanted a good opportunity to rest and buff, so this seems like a perfect opportunity. Once we finish this fight, we can rest here. So let's get one of those, and then let's go for a little charge. Well, that was horrible. One of these, one of these. One of those. We can't quite charge, but we could get in here. That's fine. Areelu, I really just don't want you being hit by this guy. So I'm going to move you over here. And actually in slightly as well, if I can. Just one step. Right. Then take a shot.
I will resist.
Well, that's horrible that we missed again. This one's heading in here. Okay. Well, they still went for Areelu. That's not ideal. Right, attack the one in front of you.
Fiend.
It's horrible that we haven't yet hit yet. I'm going to move you here, and then you can attack this way. Hopefully that'll allow us to move Areelu next turn. Darren, take your step backwards, just so that we're out of range of these guys. Then take a shot.
Out of my sight.
Another miss, huh? Okay. Attack. This is not going well. Okay. Right. Attack. Nice, we did damage. There we go. And we got a crit and it did even more damage. Wonderful. We're actually doing damage to them now. If I take a step here, these two shouldn't be able to attack without taking an attack of opportunity. And I might be able to kill the giant. Although apparently I can't roll above 11, so that's fine. They also cannot hit. Never mind, unless it's our horse. Goodbye, horse. Horse is still alive. Okay, wonderful. Attack. Hey, we got a crit, which triggered another attack of opportunity. Attack in here. Okay. Darren. We'll do a heal, which will heal our horse. Wonderful. Right. Seela, attack.
Guide my blade.
We're getting there. Camellia, kill.
I'll cut you wide open.
Nice. Camellia actually might have our highest base damage, as in, like, no buff damage right now. At least with Reg out of the party. So that's cool to think about. I'll take a step back and then get some shots in. Never mind, we completely missed. Cleave hit a whole bunch of people. Horse is now down. Okay. Horse is still down. Shoot.
I will see to your demise.
Not good. Not good. Okay. Walk up and stab. Very, very, very dead. We got another crit. I'm wondering if one of our abilities counts as a crit even though it's not a crit. Or, like, what's going on with our crits. Because she seems to crit every second attack. It's pretty good. Why would you deliberately kill the horse? I mean, we're going to bring it back when we rest, but it just seems needlessly cruel. Okay, attack. I suppose they probably are evil, right? So, I mean, what was I expecting? We still have the buff on, so attack. Nice damage. See, that crit again. See, we have so many crits.
I will resist.
Okay, sure. Nothing here that we need. Nothing on that one. Right. I think that we probably want to rest. There we go. Let's go for a rest. Why did we just heal for 6 points 3 times? Not entirely sure. Right. Camouflage is fine. Mass potage. That's also okay. Yeah. Let's just rest. Sure. Oh, that's a DC 28 for protective rituals, by the way. It's a lore religion check. DC 28. Wow. So I guess that means that we're definitely getting corruption in this area. Okay.
Sometimes I worry that demons could take advantage of my inexperience. I know nothing of life. I am ill-prepared for the temptations they might offer me. Will you tell me about them?
Don't think about it. You have a pure heart. It won't lead you astray.
Camellia has a pure heart. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Also, we rolled a 20 on our protective rituals. Fantastic. Yeah. I don't know what Camellia is doing. She's trying to find out more about being a demon. I'm not sure if we should encourage this. I'm definitely not sure if we should encourage this. Right, let's get some buffs going. So let's go for Bless. I know it's a lot of buffs that we have to keep doing, but that is just the way of things, unfortunately. One of these. Followed by one of these. I have said this before, and I'll say it again. I would love it if there was a way of just setting up like a list of buffs that you did, and it would just apply them all. Just in order. I think that would be really good. Or if you were able to do this in some sort of menu, I think that would be like much better than having to do the buff each time. But hey, there you have it. We will do it this way. We're really going to struggle if the game ever turns to not being like against outsiders, because basically our entire build is like killing demons. If it changes, then all of our damage disappears, because all of our damage currently is coming from these Crusaders' edges. I don't know. I mean, apart from Camellia's damage is just naturally brilliant. Horse, why don't you have a buff? Then we want to go for some of these. And then another one. And then another one. And another one. Again, give the horse a buff. And give you a buff. I'm not going to give Camellia a buff. There we go. Right. We're fully buffed up from that point of view. Now it is your turn to buff up. Life Bubble. Archon Zora. I don't know why I have it on the thing twice. I guess I'll remove it from there. One of these. One of those. Those are round per levels. Fire Belly can also be applied. That does come out as a 24-hour, right? Yeah. I was just checking because earlier I wasn't 100% sure. Death wards on the frontliners. Just so that we're fully buffed for anything that could ever appear. And then a self buff here. Effortless armor. Con buff. I guess I'll give the con buff to Camellia actually. My logic being that that'll give her more health, which is good. Everything else fine. I think everything else is indeed fine here. Okay, Camellia.
Final surprise.
Now you also have enduring spells, but only for ones that last over an hour. So, I think that means that we can cast this one as enduring. Greater Life, yeah. And that might be it for right now. Yeah, until we get another mythic level, that is it for her. Oh, I also need to do this, I guess, every day, so that she can have the 7 decks. I just realized we probably want to find her new armor at some point, because this armor is actually maxed out on her. Interesting. We'll see what we can do about that. But apart from that, I think we might be good to go. At last. Let's see if we have anything else that's going to last a long time. I don't believe that we do. No, we do not. Wonderful. Right. Quick save. Time to head out.
Let us be off.
We're just absolutely fabulous and glowing now. Although I think that's mainly because we're a party full of criminals, but let's not worry about that. Right, collect. And we'll continue moving on. I should check the Crusade mode just to check how many days we've gone through. I think we've only gone through 1 though. Crusade mode. Little jump in here. How long are we on our decrees? We're in 2 days off on that one. Teleportation circles in 2 days. So yeah, in 2 days we want to head back. Because then we have our teleportation circle done. Main barracks are actually done now, which means that we should be able to start recruiting. And I assume that's at the start of the new week that we can start recruiting. What are we losing? We're losing Banner of Conquest because we haven't taken a demon fort in the last 30 days. Okay, I mean our morale is it's full, so there's really no reason to rush that. And it's not like it goes down, so that's fine. As in that particular one doesn't cause our thing to go down. Recruiting. 22 per week. Ah, right, there we go. So, we're not quite there, but we're getting there. Money-wise, we have 49 material points. Yeah, so we're going to struggle a little bit. Anyway, back to this one. Let's go. Down here. Over to the Temple of the Good Hunt. Let's go. Enter the location. Just intrigued to find out what's here. So, not much. How about over here? So, solid wall.
Let's move.
Left. Solid wall. So, it's basically a straightforward path, I think. As we see a bit that we can turn from. Maybe up here? Yeah, okay. Nothing.
Follow me.
Solid amount of nothing. I just realized something. Do we still have the imp on? We do. Yeah, no. Imp should be on you now. There we go. And then we can activate it. So that'll give you trickery and stealth bonuses, which seems kind of like it's your thing rather than our thing. Also, we did see in town that he used Camellia's trickery rather than our trickery. So actually giving it to us didn't matter at all. Let's see if we have anything else that we probably want to pass across. No, I think we're fine. What I might do on Sela is I might use this as well. Just because I should have remembered to use that, because it activates randomly. So, yeah, if I don't have it on, it will never activate. I mean, it's like the smallest buff you're ever going to see. It's a +1 to something, and it activates randomly. It's as vague as you could make it, but hey, there you go. Right. Position ourselves here, and... well, that's a large stag head. Let's go in. Don't see anything so far. You got this criminal sense. Oh, it's Cayado. So he is the guy who we were at the temple. He was at the temple with Rathamus, but he was the one who we weren't really allowed to speak to because Rathamus was like, oh, he's just an apprentice cleric. The young cleric of Areelu greets you with a shy smile. What an honor it is to see you again, Commander. Welcome to the Temple of Delamere the Blessed. As this temple's prior, I offer my greetings. At the word prior, the priest's face flushes pink. Remind me, who are you? We already know, but I want to go through it. They call me Caiado, the shepherd boy. Well, that's what they used to call me, but it's not very fitting for a priest, is it? The cleric lapses into confused silence for a few moments. I come from a village near Lastwall. I've always been drawn to Areelu, even as a child. A cleric by the name of Jod once passed through our village, a kind old man. Jod was in the first game. He was in Kingmaker. And he was one of your advisors, I think? He looked me in the eye, a silly little kid, and he said, I see you're going to serve Areelu, just like myself. And so I did. When I heard about your crusade, I set out to join it, just like my heart was telling me to. At first, I served as a novice under the venerable Rathamus, but now he's gone, and I've been left on my own. Rathamus and I marched on Dresden with your forces. We fought in your host, and then when the demons were driven out, I came here. This temple is centuries old. Areelu's worshippers would have come here in their hundreds in the past, but even now we get the odd pilgrim wandering in. That's why I wanted to take over his temple. Someone ought to take care of this sacred place. Fair enough. I want to know more about this temple and everything connected to it. Where to begin? Well, this temple is dedicated to Delamere. Oh, I mean, of course it is a temple of Areelu, but Delamere was the prior of this temple. I mean, no, I am the prior of this temple, and she is, like its Blessed Mother Superior, its patroness. The young man falls into a confused silence and looks pleadingly at you. What is it like to be a prior? Oh, it's terrifying. I live here alone, you see. People travel a great distance to come here. But I have been given an important task. Here in the Worldwound, these temples are needed more than ever so that people don't lose their faith. But that doesn't stop my legs shaking in terror. When I think of my teacher Rathamus, rest his soul, I just feel like running away. I swear, I would have run long ago, but one thing keeps me here. Areelu would not have granted me these spells for no reason. I cannot let him down. Or the people. I can't let them down either. So the place frightened you, but you're still here. You should be proud of that. You should have stayed home and grown turnips. Oh, don't worry, we will destroy the demons, every last one of them. Let's try and improve his confidence. You should be proud of that. Caiado smiles bashfully. Areelu is with me. If my faith is strong, his antlers will protect me from evil demons. He won't let them devour me. Tell me about Delamere. She lived in these parts back when Sarkoris was still standing. She was a priestess of Areelu, and the Khelids deeply respected her for her hard nature and her unshakable faith. Areelu blessed her with various wonders, and the common folk knew that she would stand up for them. Delamere did not like city life. She said cities encouraged vile deeds and corruption of the soul. She said that people ought to live in small clans, where everyone knows everyone, where everyone is kin, where every person has a duty to the rest. You can't hide your sins in a village. In a village, everyone knows what kind of person you are. She had a revelation, and she would travel around the villages and see how many people lived there. If any settlement had more than 53 souls, she drove out the rest and told them to settle elsewhere, because otherwise the villages would have grown and turned into little towns. Her methods were harsh, of course, but people still listened to her, because Areelu himself was on her side. She had an edge to her. She single-handedly chased off whole bands of marauders that harassed villagers. And after she died, this temple was built in her honor, in the place where Areelu gifted her with his relics. They say it was here that a white stag emerged from the forest and spoke to her in a human voice, telling her that she should hunt it, because it was the will of her lord. Delamere tracked that stag for 3 days and 3 nights through the forests. When she ran it to the ground, she made its antlers into a bow Its hide into armor. That bow never misses, and Areelu himself blessed that armor so it repels the strikes of enemies. I do not share her views, but I respect her faith. Even I think she was a hard woman. Can it truly be wrong for more than 53 people to live in one place? And if there were 54, does the moral decay and treachery begin immediately? Kayado catches himself and turns red. But that is my foolishness and ignorance talking. The wisdom of Areelu was revealed to Delamere, so she must have understood the unique mysteries underpinning the world. A little bit nervous there. I want to know more about Areelu's teachings. Areelu is an old god, back from the times when there were no such things as towns. Simple he is, and good, and he wants people to be the same. He wants them to live in small settlements where everyone knows each other. He wants them to value the simple joys of life, and not vacuous pondering. He wants people to earn their bread honestly, through hunting, crafts, farming, and fishing. He especially prizes hunting, of course, when it is for sustenance rather than sport. He is both stag and hunter. He favors both guises. Areelu does not like finery, and he demands no special ceremonies. He used to simply appear before hunters and rangers and offer his wisdom. But when he is angered, he is terrifying. If someone harms the country folk, takes pleasure in hurting animals, or spoils the crops, that person may well take an arrow from Areelu, and his bow knows no mercy, for it is the father of all bows, for it was Areelu who taught people how to shoot. Everything is clear. It was my pleasure to be of service, Commander. Have you seen anything suspicious in this area? The cleric swallows nervously and lowers his gaze. No, everything's quiet around here. There's nothing going on with this temple, that's for sure. Pilgrims have said that there's a dragon flying around the area, snatching up travelers. Others say that's just a rumor. Things are quiet here in my temple. Sure. Have you heard about my new powers? The cleric refuses to look you in the eye. They are a true blessing. To be able to read the truth of human souls, it is truly incredible, but it must be a burden for you, Commander. So you only worst in people. How can that be any better than lying to oneself and looking at everything through rose-tinted glasses? You can only be seeing half of the full picture. And isn't it lonely standing there alone at the summit looking down on everyone? How can you love someone, even as a friend, if you only see the wrongdoers everywhere you look? In your shoes, I probably would have refused such a gift if I could. I was lucky Areelu willed me to become a priest. I can forgive if my heart chooses to, but do you have the right to forgive a guilty person? If you can no longer feel pity or compassion, that is horrific. I need the services of a cleric. Right, so basically, I believe he has all of Rathmus's stuff. Oh, he has half of the pair. Oh, cool, he has the other half thing, so we can get that plus bonus if we wanted to. I don't really want to buy that, but he does have it. Burned Ashwood allows you to cast Burning Arc spell at will, which is kind of neat. But it does cost 60,000, which is roughly 10 times what we currently have available to us. And then he sells a bunch of scrolls and things that we could have bought, and then sold back to him, another such malarkey. But yeah, we don't really need to buy anything. We could buy a scroll scriber kit, and we probably do want to, but right now, it's not really the time. Right, so let's explore the rest of this place. Ooh, what have we got here? Perception check over there. Interesting. Well, I'm going to continue exploring the side room.
What's that?
Trap? Okay. I'm going to continue exploring the side rooms before I do anything else. Am I safe to walk in here? Looks to be. Just a random trap.
I am helpful.
Okay.
Am I not?
Grab the loot. Okay.
Check that out.
Pick the lock. What have we got? Oh, Specimen 367 Finian Decimir Test Report 1. Oh, Finian's our weapon, right? Master, the first stage of the testing process was a success. Specimen 367 Finian Dismar turned into a sword on command. The sword possesses sufficient sharpness and the ability to adjust the wielder's strike. It beheaded a crusader with a single blow. A clean cut, the blade is undamaged. Additional notes. The specimen makes unwanted noises resembling weeping. No reaction to threats. Turned into a sword on command. Now the fact it says on command implies that he could turn back, right? Because if he turns into a sword on command, it kind of sounds like you would say, turn into a sword now. He turns into a sword, and then you can say, stop being a sword. Which is intriguing. So that would imply that Finian can be, like, you know, fixed. Not that there's anything wrong with being a sword, I guess, but, like,
I hope you appreciate
it's not really what he is. Okay, grab this. Ultimate Predator. These knee pads grant the wearer a +2 insight bonus on attack and damage rolls made with natural weapons against animals, magical beasts, and monstrous humanoids. Hey, horse, I believe that we have now got you some equipment. Sort by type. There we go. Yeah. Oh wait, we already had knee pads. Let's have a look. So, do we want additional 1d6 bludgeoning on critical hits, or do we want a +2 insight against animals, magical beasts, and monstrous humanoids? I want the +1 d6 on critical hits. Never mind. Okay. Continue ignoring the obvious perception check. Just while we continue to explore.
Something.
Another trap, huh? Okay. Don't know why this place is filled with traps, but I mean that's fine.
Let us be off.
In we go. Well, I mean maybe to stop against the demons, like stop demons coming in here and all that sort of stuff. What have we got? Elven notes. Oh, okay, that's fine. I thought it was more Finian stuff, but no, it's elven notes. Belt, Dex +4. It's nice. Now it's useless for her because it doesn't. This Dex doesn't. Her Dex thing seems to only last for one area. That's intriguing. Yeah, she doesn't seem to get this bonus. It seems to only last... It says it should remain in effect until the hunter changes it, but that does not appear to be the case. I think it's only in effect for one area. That's annoying. So the Dex belt would actually give her something. Okay, yeah, that's really annoying. How can I just reapply it, or... No. That's a little bit janky, I would say, in terms of how that works. Because it doesn't say that it should only be able to be activated once. It says it should be able to be activated infinite numbers of times, but let's not worry about that. Okay, Dex belt. I was thinking who else could use a Dex belt. Rushleigh could use a Dex belt, right? I mean, she'd lower her damage, but she would gain extra ability to hit. And it wouldn't even lower her damage by that much. She goes to a +8 instead of a +6. Yeah, I think this seems like an okay idea. Yeah, so that's 2 hit 16, 16, 8, 11 versus 14, 14, 9. Yeah, I think I prefer the 2 hit on her, because basically we're all about the crits, so... Well, I don't know, if we're all about crits, then it doesn't matter, because we need to have strength, but... I don't know. She's a dex-based character, I think that it makes sense to give her more dex. Yeah, I don't know. It is going to lower her damage ever so slightly. And then we get Magic Essence. I don't know whether Dex help. I don't know whether 2 hit helps when you're confirming a critical. Maybe it does. I'm not entirely sure of the rules about that. But maybe it does help, because maybe you have to roll over a certain amount to get the crit. I don't know. Anyway, I believe we have now explored all of that. Time to do this.
I am helpful, am I not?
I'm begging you, don't go in there. Oh. Why should we not go in there? The cleric lets out a loud scream and addresses you in a quavering voice. I beg you, don't touch that door. I discovered a concealed door in the temple. Where does it lead? Keodo's face goes grey, and he falters and stutters over his words. What door? Ah, the door! It leads into the cellar. There's nothing interesting behind that door. Sweat breaks out on the cleric's forehead as he looks at you with pleading eyes. I see you have violated the laws of this world. It's time to confess. Let's just say it. It's time to confess. Keado's face goes ashen. Oh, what? No, I follow Areelu. I've never done anything bad. No, wait, I'm sorry. I don't know why you think. The cleric is shaking, his hands trembling. Now it will be easier to convince him to come clean. Ah, it lowered the check. Now, the thing is, it's still a plus 32 on our intimidates. Take it easy. This is your temple. I'll respect your secrets. No. Like I'd ever do that. You're hiding some terrible secret. If you continue to do so, one from your flock will suffer. Is that what you want? Kado looks to be on the verge of tears. It's a Zandra. Zandra? One of the senior cultists of Baphomet in their stronghold known as the Ivory Sanctum. She's a witch. She came here one night, threatened to torture me and demanded that I let her into the crypt. She said that her friends would be coming here sometimes. Then she placed a curse on me. If I allow anyone other than the initiated servants of Baphomet into the crypt without her permission, a brood of rats will appear in my stomach, and they will gnaw me from the inside out. But I want to live. I'm no warrior. I'm a humble shepherd, and I never said a word to anyone. They can go in and do things. They whisper. I'm afraid to go in. And you can't go in. There's no one in there now anyway. Zandra hasn't been here for many days, and Ere's still willing. She won't come again, accursed witch. Camellia sighs in exasperation. What do you expect from a peasant? It is in a peasant's nature to obey those who are stronger. I don't know who this Zandra is, but I'd really like to get my hands on her and have a chat. Or maybe I'd just like to reach for my weapon right away. It speaks a language all its own. But a quick death is too good for cultist scum like her. After all, the fear and torment and pain they put people through. After this furious outburst, Stila calms down and speaks to Keodor. Stay strong, kid. You are not alone. You have allies and your faith. For your treachery, I sentence you to death. Seems a little extreme. I want to go inside the crypt. The cleric's resistance is hanging by a thread. His lips are trembling. His voice drops to a whisper. I have the key, but what right do you have to... Interesting. We do a trickster thing, potentially. You betrayed your flock. If you have even an ounce of conscience left, you'll give me the key. Keado's face reddens in shame. With a trembling hand, he gives you the key. His final words sound unexpectedly clear and crisp. Don't go in there. Can I not remove the curse? Let me try. He said he was cursed, right?
I heed the voice.
I have
of
removed
spirits.
curse. Blast him. Did that do anything, or you feel better? I suppose you've come to go into the crypt, yes? So this is an interesting one. If we go into the crypt, he dies. So we probably don't want to go into the crypt, right? But I want to go into the crypt. But if we go into the crypt, he dies. So I guess we've got to find a way of removing his curse before we go into the crypt. Maybe? Yeah, I guess we got to find a way of removing his curse. That would seem sensible. Yeah, I'm not sure we want to sentence him to death. That seems awfully extreme for, you know, what is, you know, basically just an extreme form of blackmail. I mean, he's going to get eaten from the inside out by rats. That's a pretty convincing argument to do what they say. Demon armies approaching. So I believe that means that down here somewhere on the western side of here, there should be a demon army. Somewhere that looks different than all the other demon armies. I'm trying to find it here, and I think it spawns from like one of the forts generally. Let's see. Nothing up here, nothing up here. I'm just checking this side as well. It might not have spawned in properly yet. What I would love is the ability to zoom out just a tiny bit more on this map, and then it would make it much easier to find things rather than having to scan like this, which is not really very good in terms of a way to go around the map. Yeah, I don't know if the demon army is actually on the map yet. Yeah, it might not be on the map. Okay, but basically the idea is a demon army will spawn somewhere on the map, and every turn it will move closer to like you or one of your forts or something, and then, you know, that's the army that's for like the if a fort is under siege thing. So basically, if they were to come up to Dresden and they were to siege it and take Dresden, we would get the negative on Banner of Defense. I actually think if it's Dresden, we lose, but anyway, that's roughly what that's doing. Okay. Let's see where we want to go. So, let's go to this one and have a look here. So we're at 2 days left. Okay, 2 days left. So we will simply wait 2 days for that, which means that let's head like down this way. Start exploring this side of things. Keep going. You spotted enemies. Evade. Cool. I just wanted to link that so when we start doing paths through, it will let us go through there. I believe that we will always encounter enemies. Interesting that that's a location. I believe we'll always encounter enemies when we walk past a red army. Yeah. That's fine. Oh, there we go. There's the army. We can't quite... You see this level 4 demon army that gives you nothing? That's the one that spawned in. I think it's moving kind of along this way. It's actually moving along a path we haven't yet unlocked, which is interesting. There was someone on the road. Woljif? Woljif? It could be. How are our buffs looking? They're on for another 14 hours. Okay. Immediately a trap. Go invisible.
The spirits guide me.
And then head up here.
Now what?
Another trap. Well, we can disable that one easily.
I am helpful, am I not?
Keep sneaking. I just don't know what's going to be along here, so I'm just being very, very careful. There are a lot of traps. But generally, when there are traps, there are enemies at the end of a trap line. Okay, this one.
At your discretion.
Stinking cloud trap hit us. Oh, okay. So yeah, that's the people. That's the Woljif people. Oh, luckily we should be immune because of this, right? No, we didn't do it. We actually didn't do the one that would have made us immune. Oh wait, we are immune. Stinking cloud. That's due to poison, maybe? It's due to this one. It's not due to the one I thought it was going to be due to, but that's fine. Because I never cast it. So whistle. Oh no, it should be due to life bubble as well. Although we don't actually appear to have life bubble on anyone. We just have death ward. We are also fatigued. Do I have remove fatigue with, let me see here. It'll be in our abilities. Do I have remove fatigue with our mercy? Yes, I do. Okay, so I can remove fatigue here.
A bright future awaits us.
So let's do a self lay on hands. Removes fatigue. That will also remove fatigue. You're not fatigued. You are fatigued. Okay. You're fatigued. Oh, it was all bar one are fatigued right now. And then remove fatigue. Horse shouldn't be fatigued, I think, because I don't think the horse gets fatigued. No. Okay, perfect. Right. We're now ready to walk forward a little bit. Do a quick save. And then head round the corner. It doesn't look like we can attack them, so I assume that means we're going into a conversation. That's Woljif, right? Maybe? No, it might be somebody else. Accept the sacrifice, Baphomet. Oh, that's Woljif. Curse you all, praise to be Iomade? Yeah, why is Woljif residing over this? It's her, the one who killed our brothers and sisters. Death to the killer, die! Death to the killer, die! Woljif? Woljif rises from the stone throne and halts the sacrifice with a raised hand. The cultist holding the knife over the victim on the altar stops. Woljif is wreathed in blue flame and a demonic shadow rises up behind him. Easy now, we're all friends here. This was just a little misunderstanding. You thought you'd come across Crusaders, but they're big fans of our Lord Baphomet too. Woljif half turns to you, his right eye twitching, which you interpret as an attempt to wink discreetly. Ain't that right? Yeah, misunderstanding. Hail Baphomet. Woljif's face lights up. Right, exactly. Pilgrims of the Worldwound, meet the finest member of our big family. Hey there, Chief. Long time no see. Why don't we hold off on the sacrifice for now? We need to drink to this happy meeting, am I right? Yeah, let's do that. tie that one on the altar up again, and we'll get round to slaughtering it later. The cultists exchange looks and whispers. The chief cultist lowers his knife. If the Crescent of the Abyss says so, then welcome. Make yourselves at home in the temporary camp of the Pilgrims of the Worldwound. But why did you attack our brothers? Good question. Do we say we took them for common brigands? I wanted to sacrifice those crusaders myself? Or well, Woljif, why did we? Yeah, well, Woljif, why did we? Because the chief sometimes has these fits of insanity and battle rage. It's a blessing from Lord Baphomet. The chief goes crazy, she goes crazy and gets twice as strong as normal. But if the blessing kicks in at the wrong moment, well, that's just bad luck for you. I've had to get away from that crazed chief a few times, so I know what I'm talking about. The cultist casts a worried glance at your weapon, but passes no remarks. It is good that the Crescent of the Abyss, our beacon in the darkness, and our oracle has resolved this misunderstanding. Relax, friends, and after, if you wish, you may join our pilgrimage. Okay. He stages for a reason. How is he going to explain it? Great question. Great question. This large stone with candles is covered with Baphomet symbols. It's clear the cultists use it for an altar. Deval? Wait, do we not know Deval? The man you saw on the altar is now tied up on the ground, his head hanging down. He is young, but his brown hair is prematurely peppered with grey. His expensive but practical clothes are stained and worn. The man's cheeks have developed a scraggy beard over his time in captivity. The prisoner looks up at the sound of your footsteps. His eyes reveal nothing but weariness. You're not one of them. Only idiots who are desperate to believe everything they hear would fall for Woljif's lie. Who are you? Deval Gwenver. Man's voice sounds hollow and detached. Nobleman, crusader, livestock waiting to be slaughtered. How did you end up here? The man's eyes stare into the distance. Solely through my own foolishness. Because of my inability to fight like a man. I thought the crusade would be the best way to make my mark on history. I dreamt of glory, of the respect that would otherwise be denied to me as the third son of a noble family. When an officer laughed at my skills and called me an ignorant interloper. Oh, how right he was. Fate has a twisted sense of humour. My more experienced comrades died in this cursed place, one after another. But I survived. There were only 5 of us left in the end. Our hubris was gone. We were jumping at every shadow, but we still weren't cautious enough. I was the only one who survived after we were attacked in the night. I should have realised what was happening when the lookout went missing. Did Woljif order that you be sacrificed? Prisoner looks at you in surprise. Woljif? Oh no. In my better days, I wouldn't have let a tiefling like him set foot in my house. I wouldn't have guessed at the wonders of generosity he was capable of. But fate has led us here, and I am glad to have him as a companion. Huh? I despised him at first, but then I realised he was just as much a prisoner here as myself. In turn, he seemed to develop sympathy for me. At least he always tried to stave off my death. And he entertained me with his tall tales at night. I even grew accustomed to his ghastly street parlance. I should be grateful to Woljif, but the prisoner shuts his eyes. I'm tired. Death has drawn close to so many times and then retreated again. And now I would welcome it. Even death would be better than the waiting. I won't disturb you further. Thank you. If you happen to meet my parents or members of the Gwenviar family, tell them I died in the wound, praising Iomade. We do want to free him, but we don't want to say it out loud in case somebody's like, you want to free him? And then we have to deal with that. What's this? The stone throne that cultists erected for Woljif does not look very comfortable. No way. Okay. Hello. Woljif, I guess we're going to speak with you. I could speak to the cultist leader, but I feel like I should speak to Woljif first. Woljif is waiting for you next to the altar, wearily wiping the sweat from his brow. Phew! I thought I was done for. I could feel it in my tail that they were gonna kill me. If you ain't a sight for sore eyes, Chief. When I heard the gargoyles hadn't got you and that you were running the show up in Dresden now, I can't tell you how happy that made me, but that night it all happened, I tell you, I was so scared I couldn't see straight. I wandered around wondering if my chief and the rest of the gang were lying in an open field with their eyes pecked out. Woljif sighs. Even my conscience prickled a little, thinking about how I ran, but when you look at it from my side, what else was I supposed to do? The actual paladins were getting cut down left, right and centre. And then these pilgrims of the Worldwound tell me that Dresden's been reclaimed and that there's a new commander called Naminde, and well, I say to myself, there can't be two demon-slaying dynamos with that name. It must be you. So I cut my way through the circles around Dresden and I waited for you to come out. At one point I got so desperate I almost went right up to the city walls, but I thought better of it. Although an arrow in the skull might be a sight better than running for fear of a Voatail. Woljif sucks in his breath and keeps talking in a rush like he's afraid you'll turn around and walk out. Do you know Voatail? I don't either, but I remember the name because of what my brother Melrune yelled in the basement that time. I'm going to tell Hepsa, Mira and Voatail or something like that. Anyway, my shadow told me that Voatail is that demon and I should be scared of him because he's after the moon of the abyss, but the shadow is a whole other story. But if you want to know why I haven't just come to Dresden, well, I need your help. It's a matter of life and death, Chief. Okay. Slow down, you're not making sense. What's going on here? Woljif lets out a breath. Okay, I'll shut up. I mean, I won't shut up, but ask me what you want to know, and I'll tell you. What was that? That was my cunning plan, Chief. Woljif's tail is whipping back and forth so fast it's a blur. Are you pretending to be a cultist? Woljif raises his hands defensively. Easy there, Chief. I'm no cultist, and I didn't just ask you to play along for the fun of it. I had a reason, I swear, and it's not because I've seen what you're like in a fight and I know I had no chance against you. Why did you run that night that we fought the gargoyles? Me? Run? Me? I fought them off. I did. You should have seen me. I got one right in the nose and sent it arse over a tea kettle and it flew off. I've gotten into scraps a fair few times before, being caught by surprise in the dead of night, more times than I can count. And that's why I leapt up quick as anything, grabbed my knives, and well, of course I made a run for it. What else was I gonna do? I'm just a thief, a city boy. I don't go toe-to-toe with demons, sure. I said I'd help you and all, but that was before. I didn't sign up for nightmare gargoyle attacks. What kind of idiot attacks in the middle of the night? I thought war could keep more civilized hours, to be honest. Wrong again. So apologies, Chief. I always end up on the winning side. It's just my nature. You and your lot in the camp of that night did not have the look of victory about you, and it's not like I'd have been of much help if the gargoyle snatched me in its claws. Of course, I decided to run, and run I did. What's your relationship with the Baphomet cultists? It's complicated. It's a story of unrequited love. Really, they love me, and all I can think about is how to get away from them and save my own skin. How did you end up with them? It's the same way I end up anywhere. I was walking and walking and walking, and then here I was. Oh, I should mention, at this point, my shadow, well, you know it started talking. At first I was so scared I thought there was someone growling behind me, but then I listened closely and it was my shadow. Well, it only got out a few words, but I heard the name Voatail, and I learned that he's a demon and that he wants my moon of the abyss for some reason. And then I learned which direction he was looking for me in, and, well, when I heard that, I turned around and went the other way. I'm not an idiot. Those pilgrims of the Worldwound clubbed me around the head, and I woke up and they were already dragging me to the altar. I said to them, "Brothers, don't drag me to the altar. I have a proposition for you. One you don't want to miss." But they paid me no attention and kept dragging me. In the end, I had to show them my party piece. They saw my shadow and dropped to their knees just like that. I fed them a line about how I can speak directly to Baphomet through it, and they lapped it right up. That's why I'm still alive. So you said some shadow's been talking to you, is that right? Not just any shadow, my special shadow. After I spent a while running around the Worldwound, scared out my wits, and I suddenly creeped out and whispered in this distant-sounding voice, "Voatail, North, fear, Voatail." And the name was familiar because that's what Brother Melrune yelled out, but I put two and two together. This Voatail was in the north. I needed to make sure he didn't find me. Bit by bit, I got the shadow to tell me that Voatail was a demon, and that he was looking for the moon of the abyss. Who knows why? By the way, I have a couple of thoughts of my own about the moon. I'll tell you them once we're out of this mess. Remind me why I shouldn't just kill all these cultists here and now? Because, Woljif looks around and lowers his voice into a conspiratorial whisper, "They will still be useful to us if you decide to help me. And thanks for not trying to kill him as soon as you got here, by the way. The leader is a nervous sort. He definitely would have stabbed the lad on the altar if he caused a fuss. They think if they perform all these sacrifices, Baphomet's going to appear and hand out powerful spells like candy." Okay, what do you want from me? In a nutshell, Chief, I've got a bit of a situation here. One wrong move, and I'm a goner. The demon, Voatail, is in the vicinity somewhere. A good man has suffered. The cultists are animals. I just want to get out of this and make Voatail back off, but without you, I've got no chance. Help me. I won't forget it as long as I live. Who is Voatail? All I know is he's the demon that sent my brother Melrune to get the Moon of the Abyss, and now that I have the moon, Votiel's after me. I'm already tired of running from him. He's going to catch me soon, I can feel it. What part of the cult is playing in your plan? Woljif glances around, making sure you are not overheard. Do you know why they call themselves Pilgrims of the Worldwound? Because they're itching to meet big name demons like Baphomet. It's like they're on a pilgrimage. So that got me thinking, since they listen to me, we can lead them to Votiel and mess with their heads a bit. Say that Baphomet has been calling him nasty names and let cultists fight Votiel for us? It'll be a riot. Cultists helping us take out a demon? Well, what do you think? What good man are you talking about? Me, of course. Woljif folds his arms. I'm a prisoner here, you know. And I suppose there's also the other fellow, Deval, the one that's tied up. I kind of owe him one. I made a dumb mistake and now he's paying for it. Now, don't get me wrong, I couldn't care less about this guy. He got himself into this mess, except if it wasn't for me, they maybe wouldn't have caught him in the first place. These pilgrims kept asking me, will we have to wait long for the favours of Lord Baphomet? As though, just because I have my shadow, I should know. What am I, some kind of demon whisperer? I put on a kind of knowing air and said to them, do as you have been doing and the favours will come. And they took that to mean that they needed to keep cutting people up on the altar, and I tried to put them off that idea. They didn't listen, but they didn't listen. I acted like I was discussing things with my shadow, and I kept trying to hold them off, saying that the stars weren't in alignment and that raining eyeballs was a bad omen. I'd run out of ideas just before he showed up, Chief. I was already considering just letting him do it. He was a crusader after all. You know, demons probably would get him in the end either way. It's not my fault that they It's not my fault that's how they do things. It was either him or me. Woljif sighs and turns away. His tail is twitching from side to side in agitation. There is one way to get us, to get both of us out, but I can't imagine it on my own. I need your help. All right, I'll help you deal with Vote. Actually, I want to ask you something else. Never mind. All right, I'll help you deal with him. No problem. Woljif's face lights up, and the tip of his tail dances through the air. I always knew you were a special sort, Chief. Let's go break his horns off. We need to go to a patch of scrubland by a bend in the river. It's not far, I'll show you. Nothing interesting about the place at all, but that's where I was when my shadow came out and started pushing me back the other way. It said Votiel would find me easily there. They'd swoop in and tear me limb from limb as soon as I popped up. I wasn't long turning away from that place, I tell you. There's just one other thing. We need to round up my lackeys and send them off on an errand. While they're gone, we can free the prisoner. No point leaving him here to be bored stiff, right? Okay. Listen up, brothers, sisters, the shadow has spoken. It says the demon will come to a secret place, a wasteland where there is almost no trees left, next to a bend in the river. Once we passed by there, but we took the wrong turn and didn't find it. Fair point. Okay. So, what's your plan to get them to follow you? That's what we haven't quite got yet. And he might just say go there, and then that would be it, and then off they go. Might be that simple. Glorious day. Before we set off, I say we make the sacrifice. I say let's hold off on the sacrifice, and time's a wasting, and demons are busy, you know. Leave your things and go. I must meditate before such an event, and when I'm all meditated out, I'll come and summon a demon to you. Oh, is this when he rejoins our party? Is this it? Is Woljif back? I'm ready. I think this is Woljif back in the party. Commander, a moment of your time. The young crusader cautiously gets to his feet, unable to believe that he's finally free. At last the day has come when those odious faces will no longer be looming over me. The cultists hid my weapons and armor somewhere. I'll find them and then take my leave of this place forever. They're over there with the rest of the stolen stuff. I made sure they didn't go walkies in the night. I hoped you'd make it out of this somehow. Thanks to your efforts, Woljif. Go, time is of the essence. If the demon is hunting you, better lure him into a trap and strike first. What are you planning to do now? Find my armor and weapons, find something to eat, and leave this place as quickly as possible. The crusader looks ahead with grim determination. Perhaps I will die in the wound, but I'll die with a sword in my hands, and not like an animal at a slaughterhouse. If I do make it out, I shall build a temple in Iomede's honor in my hometown. You're rich enough to build a temple if you fancy it. You were complaining that your parents didn't give you enough money. I think we have slightly different conceptions of what counts as enough money. In any case, money is no longer a concern of mine. My life and my legacy belong to the goddess who sent you and the commander to my aid. Alright then, farewell, see ya. May Iomade keep you. And there we have it. Woljif is back. Goodbye, Camellia. Hello, Woljif. Camellia is one of our highest damage dealers, but, I mean, she fills the exact same role as Woljif, like 1-to-1. So if we're bringing Woljif, we have to ditch Camellia. And there we have it. He's back in the party. Now, have we got loot over here as well?
March on.
We do. Oh, cool. Grab that while we're on the way. Yeah, just a couple bits of loot. A few scrolls. One of those. Yeah, nice.
What's that?
Oh, what is that? Yeah. Just some more scrolls.
Onwards.
Nice. Okay, so Woljif is back. Is he in the right spot? Of course not. No. Woljif. You go here. You go here. Woljif. Yeah, you're kind of a frontliner, but we don't... Maybe we won't put you there, but that's fine. Right. Let's rearrange our party. How many levels do we have for him?
Ask nicely.
We should have a few, right? He's level 7, so we have 3 levels plus 2 mythic levels. Yeah. Wow, he's been out for a while. We also need to learn a bunch of spells, but we're going to do that next time. Thank you for watching. I'm also going to go into here, and I'm going to go and rearrange all of his spells. Maybe I should have ditched Seela, so I could then rearrange all of Camellia's ones, but then we also have to lose Horse. That's the thing to remember with Seela. Seela, by herself, is probably a little bit weaker than some of the other characters. But when you realize that Seela also has the Horse, that actually increases her value just so high. Because the Horse does tons of damage, it can trigger outflank, which can also hit with Seela, and it's another body. It's like, it's so valuable to have the Horse that Seela, even if all Seela was just like even if she had no abilities and it was just her, the Horse would make her worth bringing. It's crazy how valuable it is. So, yeah. We could have ditched her and then done that. I mean, she was the only one we could have ditched. We can't ditch Darren because he's our healer. I mean, we could have ditched Soasil. I mean, actually, you know what? We definitely could have ditched Soasil, but anyway. We're gonna stick with Woljif. We're gonna we're gonna level up Woljif and then it'll all be fine. Anyway, so I'm gonna end the episode there. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Although actually I probably couldn't have ditched Soasil because the whole reason I was talking about which one I would leave in was so that I could redo all of the bars, and if I ditched Soasil then he wouldn't be there for me to redo his bars. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.